Hello and welcome to Kerry's Wheel of the Year. It's the equinox, spring equinox, and now we are in the time of equal day and night and in the growing light. How fabulous is that? I've been working hard in the garden over the past month, and I will show you all of the bits and pieces that I've been doing. But it all got a bit mad here and needed a big old change. Yeah, so I've been working hard to transform the garden. So that's what this video is all about. I've been spending the past couple of days trying to empty this out and dismantle it. My brilliant idea was to move it and to reform it somewhere over here where Oscar is at the moment. And fill it full of sunny things that surround where we're going to sit with the table. However, it's been up here for about 3 years now, maybe, and it's not in as good a condition as I would have hoped, which is a bit sad, really. So I'm going to have to have a bit of a rethink. So I am in the process of kind of reassessing my life choices right now. What I really want to do is kind of make the garden feel a bit more open. I think the other reason that I'm moving this, Oscar leaps over all of these pots and things, which I've tried to stop him doing, because he has hip dysplasia, and he's getting an old boy now. And I really don't want him to do himself a mischief. So, big old rethink. Here we go. So, it's quite a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, as these things always are. However, we shall crack on and see what's going on. That was more like a blooming archaeological dig than gardening, I have to be honest. I've shifted a whole load. I've got nearly a big bag full of soil, which I've dug out of all of this. All of the plants are dotted about the place. I've still got about another quarter of it to empty. And then I've got to try and decide what I'm going to do with all of these bits. So now I'm going to have a look at this wood, and I'm going to see if I can relocate all of the stuff that's in here and basically just clear this stuff away for a bit until I know what I'm dealing with the wood, and then I'll decide whether I've got to start completely again. I may have to abandon the wood, which I won't be very happy about, but you know, and then I'll make a decision about whether I have to make a new set of planters. I just went to get a big bag to put all the polystyrene and stuff in. It's full of huge spiders. Right, stay open. I don't want to have to touch you much more. It all smells really mushroomy. I don't know what I'm going to do with this polystyrene. We'll see. See, this is one of the reasons we need alternatives for this stuff. It's been so easy to make. I don't even know what polystyrene is made out of. Did you know that they have encouraged fungi to eat not only polystyrene, but cigarettes, butt ends, and things like that. I mean, honestly, fungi, they're amazing. They will clear up our mess, whatever it is. There's even some now eating plastics. Incredible stuff. Mind you, if you don't give them anything else to eat, which is kind of a form of torture if you ask me, then they're just going to eat what you give them, aren't they? So, but what an amazing thing. They will save the planet as well as being responsible for helping life emerge from the oceans. I mean, what an amazing symbiotic relationship we have without even knowing it. If only we were better educated into these things, you know, the world would be a much more sensible place if people actually had the knowledge that would save their own lives as well as everything else. You know, as long as they don't use it as an excuse to just keep making more stuff and then forcing the poor old fungi to keep clearing up the mess, you know, like slaves, because that's not a good long-term solution. Unfortunately, the fungi haven't decided to eat this stuff for me. If you don't like snakes, you probably won't like slow worms very much, but I love them. They're beautiful, and I'm going to show you one now, so if you're squeamish about snake-like things, turn away. This is a beautiful, you see that gorgeous little thing? It's not going to bite you, it's not going to hurt you. What it does do is eat loads of slugs and snails. It's beautiful. It's not a snake, it's a legless lizard, and it's very gentle, and it's a gardener's friend. See, it's just a lovely little thing. The worst it will probably do is poop on you, so I'm going to put it somewhere safe. Here we go, down there. There you go. So, yeah, beautiful. It's a small one, it's a baby one. They can get to about that sort of long, about as thick as my thumb. And they're just lovely, and they're good for the garden. So if you see one, encourage them. They're fabulous. They're really lovely. I'm almost there with this stuff. I've got quite a lot of the polystyrene out. There's a lot of gravel in the bottom here, which would be great to reuse. And I gave up. I decided I'm not going to rebuild with this stuff. I'm afraid that's done. It's too rotten. Lesson learned, put plastic, not permeable fabric. It's all lessons. But I've managed to find a couple of really nice 2-metre planters. They're not very wide, which will just go in an L shape over there. But first I've got to get this cleared. So onwards and upwards. Okay. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with all that gravel. It's got a lot of soil in it. And possibly more slow worms. I found another one just now. Come and have a look at this. I can do it without disturbing it. Look at the size of that bee. They definitely think it's spring. Look at the size of her. Massive. How fab is that? Crikey. We've got 2. Another one just flew in. It's a gathering of the bees. Big old bumblebees, all having a nice sunshine bath and having a clean up. Okay, so it's all up. There's all the gravel. And you can see where the edge of the brick is. So all I've got to do now is get the wood out, and I can see what I'm playing with soil-wise. Right, metre chunks, I reckon. to have gotten a bit distracted. I've ended up pruning the holly tree and lots of the other trees. But it's opening up the space and giving a bit more light, which is what I really want. So it looks a bit brutal, but I think it'll actually do the garden loads of good. Okay, it's day 4 and just come out this morning to kind of get a feel of what I did yesterday. As you can see, there's a mountain of foliage which I've cut from the holly and the pittosporum down there. I have to say that's made quite a lot of difference to the light that's coming in. So and there's a much more, well, there will be a much more open feel when I get rid of this lot. All of the old raised beds, which are sadly not worth keeping. Most of it is absolutely rotten. So there you go. There's a lesson learned. I know it doesn't look like much, but I have actually done loads. Been here for 3 hours. And I've transplanted lots of plants that were in the big raised bed. I have planted some of the new daphies that I found, all on this little bit. They've had a nice lot of sun this morning, and I've got more plants to relocate all the way around here. So yeah, not been bad after a few hours. More to do, and then I may have a bit of a bonfire with all that foliage in a bit. That'll be smoky. Right. Well, it's been an interesting few days, but I'm drawing near the end now. I don't know if you can see behind me. So that raised bed's all gone, and I've transplanted all of the various plants that were in it into the beds, and bought a few more rescue plants, little ones that were all going for bargains, they were all leggy and stuff, so I've chopped them all back and planted them all in, and yeah, I'm quite pleased with it actually. I think I've got a bit more to do, some more soil to shift around. There's a bit over the back there that needs lots more soil on it, and then I can find some more plants to put in there. But all in all, it's been a bit of a slog. But actually, yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. So now I've got some plastic liner for these 2 big raised beds. We built those yesterday. Couldn't do it on my own. and it was just too fraught, so I didn't film anything. So I'm going to line those with plastic. Dave said they're not as well built as mine were. So yeah, they're quite cheap and they're quite cheerful. So I'm going to line them and just protect them a bit. Then I've got to fill them up with that soil. I'm going to put a layer of gravel in the bottom just to give it a bit of, drainage. But hopefully by the end of tomorrow I will have this whole area completely done and ready for the fabulous weather that's going to come. It's going to be gorgeous, it's going to be a lovely year, we're going to have fun, aren't we? She says optimistically. Okay, so it's taken me all morning and one complete bag of that soil that has gone into both of those beds with room for a bit more. There's still a bit of gravel left which I need to redistribute somewhere else, but I'm very happy with how it's looking so far. So I think it's time to undo the trees. I'm not sure how well these covers have done this year, but I think we just need to undo them and see what's going on. This is the I say final. It's never final. It's a garden. Dave's laughing and sniggering over there because he knows how unfinished the entire place will always be. So, there we go. Oh, cup of tea.
And a beer.
After afternoon's work.
I've worked really hard on this, so I feel like I deserve a beer now.
Cheeky bugger.
No, I really haven't. You are tenacious and
It's just taken me about a month, isn't it?
yes, and it's lovely. And it's lovely just in time, because what was yesterday?
Autumn equinox.
No.
Spring equinox.
Wasn't spring and summer beautiful?
So
It was lovely.
It's like Monty Python. We went right through the seasons. Well,
Yeah.
we'll be celebrating the solstice with some
The equinox.
people. Oh, yeah.
Look,
Oh
I'm
my
on the beer,
God.
you're on the tea. Come on. Cheers, by the way.
Yeah. Cheers. So spring equinox is great. I think for me, it's back. Monty Don's back on the telly. Gardener's World's going. Mars energy thrusting through everywhere. Everything feels hopeful again. I think that's what I feel. It's like new lambs in the fields and all of that stuff for me. This is a real. I love the autumn equinox. It's beautiful and harvest festivals and all that. But for me, spring is about hope, and it's getting warmer and all this. You have never seen anything like. I'll show you the seeds and seedlings that are in our lounge, which are waiting to go over to the allotment. It's going on in our house because I am determined this year we are going to feed ourselves from the allotment. It didn't happen last year.
Yes, we are. But it will this year. We're ahead of the game, and it's all good this year.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So for me, this year is about hope. And the world is going to hell in a handbag, but Not in my garden, damn it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on my own little patch of stuff and let the ripples of positivity and hope ripple out from where I'm sat and how I interact with the world. And that's kind of how that feels to me this year. You know, I'm done with the depressing news.
Yeah, and I just love the growing of the light, and between now and the summer solstice is probably my favourite time of the year, because it's a time of really rapid change as well, you know. And then the solstices are often they're a time of stillness, so once the summer solstice arrives, it feels like you've reached that peak and everything starts to start a little bit brown, doesn't it, you know,
crisp around the edges.
Yeah, when the lunar starts to approach. But between now and the summer solstice, it's just green and growing and full of life and change and potential, and the light's growing and the warmth is growing, but it's not too hot.
Although,
you know,
sitting here, it's
really balmy here. Oh God, dear, nearly in t-shirt weather.
I'm huddling in with my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Damn it, I am going to sit outside.
That's right. That's your total British thing, isn't it? Right, it's spring equinox. I'm sitting in the garden.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it is a beautiful time of year of hope and the change, and you know, we'll go for a walk up on the downs and hear the skylarks and just engage with life.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful, beautiful time of year. And
we're going to enjoy the garden this year. We've got more space so that we can have friends round and enjoy people's company. I think, we just need to lift things up. And I think if everybody does that, if everybody just goes, yes, you know, there is trouble in the world, hey, but with each other, we're all just going to be fabulous and groovy. I think that will change things.
I'm going to go down Southwick Square in a minute, and I'm just going to say to everyone, come on, let's be fabulous and groovy to each other. And I'm sure it would have the desired effect.
I'm sure it would, especially if you took your guitar.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
So here's
cheers, everybody.
Equinox.
Have a great spring equinox if you're in the northern hemisphere, and a wonderful autumn equinox if you're down under.
Absolutely.
See you then.
May the blessings of both be bountiful and beautiful for everyone. So,
step into the light or step into the dark, whichever one it is you're doing.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
See you next time.